Welcome back, folks. Meteorologist Hunter McCullough here for Northern News Now. First part, we talked more about leaves. It is the first day of fall, so why do we see those fall colors change and what goes into all of that? Now we're going to take a look here at just why exactly we have seasons. What goes into that as well? A lot of folks have a misconception when it comes to our seasons, myself included way back in the day. And since going to meteorology school and going to high school and all that fun stuff, of course, I've learned the real reason, but here exactly is why we see seasons. Take a look here. Hey there, folks. Welcome back. Meteorologist Hunter McCullough here for Northern News Now. So now we're going to dive more deep into why exactly we see seasons. What is the fall equinox? What exactly does it all mean? And let's break that down right now. So first off, again, it is the fall equinox, autumn equinox, as some might call it. And what happens here is that everywhere around the globe sees about 12 hours of daylight throughout the entire globe. It's not exact, but it's very, very close. And it happens. It happened earlier today on the September 22nd. It's usually around this date. It doesn't always have to be on the 22nd. It can be on the 21st or the 23rd, but it's generally around this date. So what we have going on is we've got the sun directly over the equator, meaning that everywhere around the world, including North and South poles, are seeing 12 hours of sunlight here as the sun spins, or as the Earth spins, around the sun. So that's what's going on. Everywhere has 12 hours of daylight. After this point, after the fall equinox, now we see less than 12 hours of daylight throughout the winter and early parts of spring. The southern equator, southern portions of the southern hemisphere, I'm looking for, that's what I'm trying to say. Southern hemisphere, they're going to start seeing over 12 hours of daylight. Their summer is on the way, but our winter is on the way, as we know here around the Northland. So why do seasons happen? A lot of people have the misconception, myself included when I was younger, that it has to do with how close we are to the sun, and that's not true. We have an elliptical pattern. This is showing more of a circular pattern, which is not 100% true. We do actually see more of an elliptical pattern around the sun. And we're actually further away from the sun when it's summer for us. So it doesn't have anything to do with how close we are to the sun. What it has to do with is the tilt of the Earth in relation to where the sun is. So let's look at the vernal equinox, which is also the spring equinox. Same story as the fall equinox. The sun is tilted, or the Earth is tilted, so that the sunlight is over the equator as it spins. So everywhere around the globe gets about 12 hours of daylight, no matter where you are. Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, equator, Tropic of Capricorn, Antarctic Circle, everywhere gets 12 hours of daylight. Now take a look at summer. You can see the tilt. You can see North America there. That's where we are. And Asia and everywhere else in the northern hemisphere is tilted closer to the sun, while the southern hemisphere is tilted further away. So we get more direct sunlight in the northern hemisphere, and that's why we see those warmer temperatures, longer days, of course. We generally get to see anywhere between 16 to 18 hours of sunlight, depending on where we are in the season. Of course, first day of summer is the longest day of the year with sunlight, and that's June 20th. Of this past year, I should say. Long days in the northern hemisphere, short days in the southern hemisphere. So you can see just the amount of daylight there. Arctic Circle gets 24 hours of daylight. So the further out to the north you get, the more daylight you get. Tropic of Cancer, 13.5 hours. Equator still always gets 12 hours of daylight. And then you go further down to the south, and the Antarctic Circle, unlucky folks down there, not many people live down there, but 0 hours of daylight. If you live on the North and the South Pole, you see the sun rise once and you see the sun set once per year. Very interesting right there. Now let's go to the old winter for us here in the Northern Hemisphere. Same exact story as the summer. Now we're tilted away from the sun. So again, it doesn't have to do with how close we are to the sun. It just has to do with the Earth's tilt in relation to where the sun is. So again, here we are. We're tilted now away from the sun. We're not getting as much direct sunlight, but now the southern hemisphere, they are seeing more sunshine. So when we see winter, well, down to the south in the southern hemisphere, they're experiencing summer. And along the equator, they generally have the same kind of temperatures throughout the entire year. It can change a little bit here and there, but for the most part, it's the same. So center of sun directly above the Tropic of Capricorn. Arctic Circle, now they're not seeing any sunlight. Antarctic Circle, they're seeing 24 hours of sun there. You may be asking, well, if the Antarctic Circle is seeing 24 hours of sun, why isn't it extremely hot down there? Well, it's also because the sunlight isn't as direct down there. Just because it's up all the time, the sun, does not mean it's overhead. It's not overhead. It's actually a little bit lower on the horizon, so it's still cool down into the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle when the sun is up. They never see it directly overhead. They only see it going a little bit above the horizon and then eventually going below the horizon about 6 months into the year. Other than that, though, but that's basically what causes the seasons here around the world, and it's very interesting stuff. Just one more reminder that it isn't because of how close we are to the sun, but it has to do with the tilt of the Earth and in relation to where the sun is. So very interesting stuff, of course. Feel free to tell a friend what the seasons are all about. And now we're into fall. Happy fall, everybody. Winter coming up soon. I'm sure I'll do another video talking more about winter and some statistics about that coming up as we get closer to winter. But in the meantime, have a great day.